Thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the bell for notifications, upvote, comment, all of that stuff. We'd appreciate it. Also, join the Subtext community. The link is down in the description. It is $4.99 per month. It's not much, but it's something. Anyway, I'm Stephen Willis. This is the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. I'm here with Tom Vanderford for his weekly segment. And Tom, I think today we're going to talk Phil Steele a little bit. How about that?
That sounds great, man.
Yeah, I'm going to bring this up right here. This is his projector of starters on offense, okay? He's projecting Jackson Dart to win the job, and obviously Quinn, who's the best running back in the country. Zachary Franklin and Trey Harris at wide receiver. Jordan Watkins at slot. Caden Priestcorn over Michael Trigg at tight end. Micah Pettis at tackle, Jeremy James at guard, Caleb Warren at center, Victor Kern at guard, and Jaden Williams. So what do you think about that, Tom?
Oh, I think that's spot on. I'm just proud that we've got depth on the line. Mm-hmm. I'm glad that we've got depth in the receiver core. We've got two really good running backs. I'm going to say that Bentley would start at multiple other SEC schools if he was there. I think Reese Cano's awesome. I do also expect Jackson Dart to win the job, but it's nice to have the two people behind him that we have. I've never seen this much depth in my lifetime at Ole Miss, and I'll be 58 in February. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's quite impressive. And if you look at the offensive line, this offense has 9 starters returning, Letterman returning. And
exactly.
when you replace the players that left, because Mingo left and got drafted in the second round, good player, I'm not saying he's not. Malik Heath is in camp with the Packers. To replace those with all Conference USA wide receivers, including an All-American in Zachary Franklin, this offense has a chance to be pretty unbelievably explosive. And then if you look at Jordan Watkins, just look over there what 12 personnels could be like. And Michael Trigg could play that position. And this offense could be very, very special.
Oh, yeah. I am extremely excited about our offense. I think it's going to be very good. I expect the same. Maybe not the same jump from year 1 to year 2 that we got from Matt Corral, from Jackson Dart, but pretty darn close. I think Zachary helps us with our over-the-middle passing, hopefully, as well as of course, Jordan Watkins. But we have others in our receiver rotation too that I expect to see. So if we get to start running real fast, like Hugh used to call it years ago, basketball on grass, we've got enough depth to do that.
Yeah, you almost need to have that now.
Yeah, and we also have enough depth on defense to play against teams like those Auburns and other teams that are going to run the up-tempo offenses. I don't think people understand. Phil Steele's defense starters looked good as well, and you can see it there. But we have so much depth on defense. I mean, yeah, Cedric Johnson's the strong defensive end, and we got Pegues at nose guard. We got the kid from North Carolina State at tackle. If this is correct, Ukwu, of course, at the jack. And he has Coleman and Montgomery in there. Got to remember, we also have Jean Baptiste, and we also have my buddy Ashanti. Yeah. So, we've got a lot going on there. We've got tons of cornerbacks, and I think we're in pretty good shape at safety. The kid that transferred from Miami of Ohio, they moved him to safety. We've got the Groves kid, who's a redshirt freshman at safety. So we've got a little bit of depth there. Now, of course, the two that he's showing, Young and Tennyson, are the most experienced safeties that we have. But we are extremely deep. Of course, unfortunately, most of the rest of the SEC is in the same spot.
Yeah, and I'll just say this: defensive end Cedric Johnson, nose guard Joshua Harris, defensive tackle 3 technique J.J. Pegues, Jack Isaac Ukwu, weak side linebacker Kari Coleman, middle linebacker Monty Montgomery, star Justin Hodges, cornerback Zachary Walton, cornerback DeAndre Prince, strong safety Isheem Young, free safety Ladarius Tennyson. That's who he's projecting on the defensive side of the ball. Now, the interesting thing to me is on defensive end, you have Jared Ivey that's still out there. Nose guard, you have Xavion Harris or Stephon Wynn. Defensive tackle, you have J.J. Pegues, Akella Stone, those guys. You can see what this is going. There's options. Jack, you do have, it looks like DJ Holmes. He was listed in that preview. The weak side linebacker behind Kari Coleman is Suntarian Perkins. Middle linebackers like Ashanti Seastrunk, Jeremiah Jean-Baptiste. And then at defensive back, you have all these players. You have like Jaden Kennedy. You have the kid from Liberty. You have so many players that they have recruited that were true cornerbacks. John Saunders, who they moved to free safety, who I honestly think will be the starting free safety by the time we kick off against Mercer. But if you just look at this defense, they can go a long way. They can do a lot.
I completely agree. And don't forget the defensive back, and his name escapes me. I apologize. From the Texas school, I think it was Texas State, maybe. I can't remember exactly, but he is committed to us as well.
Oh, Deshaun Gaddis. He's from North Texas.
Yeah,
Yeah, Gaddy, not Gaddis. Yeah.
Gaddy.
I think Phil Steele had him as a backup playing slot corner.
Hey, that's cool with me.
Yeah.
I mean, I have faith in. I've always had faith in Lane Kiffin, but I have more faith in Pete Golding than I did last year. Nothing against Partridge. I wish him well. He's a good recruiter, but Golding's got the experience, and he's got recruiting chops that, in my opinion, are better than Partridge. I think he's proved that in the short time he's been at Ole Miss. So I'm very, very happy about our coaching staff, and I think that goes a long way in the SEC.
Well, for the Phil Steele, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, from the Phil Steele,
the thing that I've noticed with this team versus Ole Miss teams of the past years ago, our starting 22 could compete with many SEC teams, but if one guy got hurt, that second option was quite a drop in a lot of cases. So I think back when the Romero Miller got hurt, and we had to start a walk-on quarterback, David Morris, in the Egg Bowl, and God and everybody knew we were just going to keep handing the ball off to Deuce. And we have options now. We have depth now. It's going to be a good thing.
Yeah. If you look at surprises from the starters reveal from Phil Steele, what he was saying, what are some surprises that you noticed?
Well, Kern at guard kind of surprised me a little bit. I didn't see him in the spring at all. I'm assuming maybe he was rehabbing an injury. I don't know. But, we've got the backup, the kid from UAB is a backup guard. So that's good. I wasn't expecting him. I wasn't expecting Jeremy James at guard, even though I'm glad to see him out there. He played tackle for us for many years, but I think the two young studs at tackle have just passed him. Both those guys were freshmen last year, and they showed out. So I expect them to just only get better. Priestcorn did not surprise me at all, because if we watched the games last year that Trigg was in, Trigg can catch passes. Trigg can get up. Trigg has athletic ability. Last year, Trigg could not block well. Hopefully, he's worked on that. But like you said, he's a big target. Put him in the slot. Good things could happen there as well. But we need that tight end that can block and that can get in behind the linebackers. And we needed that part of our offense. And I like that. I really don't have any surprises on offense. On defense, I am surprised that, and nothing against these guys because they're seasoned people, but I'm surprised that our two safeties, as far as he thinks, are Isheem Young and Ladarius Tennyson. I love both those kids. I think they're good. But I'm kind of like you. The guy from Miami of Ohio, if you watch the spring game, hey, he's a ball hawk. And he's a big body. And I think he's going to play. I really do. So, you have that. And he's got a lot of height. The other two guys, they were basically box safety types in the old defense. And they're not super tall. They're not super lean. They're just built differently. So I look at seeing them play a lot because of their experience. But I think you may see two totally different people start at safety than Phil has. That's just my opinion.
All right. Today we decided to have a little bit of fun on the Locked On Ole Miss podcast, and I called Damon Williams the Lionel Messi of the 2024 Ole Miss recruiting class. Now, I don't know how versed you are in soccer, and this is kind of putting you on the spot, but do you know who Lionel Messi is?
Yeah. I think you're spot on too. I don't think people understand just how good this kid is. And he's a superstar. I don't want to get into comparisons, and say stuff like Kyler Murray or whatever, but the kid is good. And I just hope we can hold on to him, because there are other people that are going to come after his senior year with the big bucks and try to sway him. So if you're listening out there and you haven't joined the Grove Collective NIL, please do so.
Right. Absolutely. And seriously, if any Ole Miss player is watching this and deciding which All-Star game to go to the one in Orlando. I'm going to be there. So please, that'll make that good as well.
Under Armour?
That's the Under Armour game. I enjoy going to that game. I get to see some old friends that I used to know back from my former life.
Okay, good deal. Good deal.
So, thanks you for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. Every dayers tomorrow on the show, Brian Smith will be coming on to talk about recruiting. Get all caught up on all the stuff that's going on with Austin Simmons and stuff like that. So we'll have him tomorrow morning on the show. But Tom, thank you very much for stopping by, and we'll see you next time, bud.
Hey, thanks, buddy. Hotty toddy, everybody.
Hotty toddy.